So here's us. My girlfriend is an important part of the team, but she's not on here just because she's not quite as involved in the business day-to-day stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Girlfriend Sam here, and then my partners Tall and Lauren. They are married, and we're all like super close friends, which is awesome. But so yeah, this was just down here, kind of what I already talked about a little bit, but we reconvened, kind of all had the same goals, and just started taking deals down.
Mm-hmm.
And then we actually are both investment real estate agents as well, so we kind of help our clients do similar, but on a smaller scale.
So give
And
me the timeline. You when you joined, how long did it take once you joined to get a deal and then ultimately to leave the W-2 job?
so I joined in, I think it was November 2019, and this was like, I basically started from ground zero. I had no knowledge of real estate in any capacity, to be honest. So the big thing was the knowledge gaps. You could see kind of my reasons for joining here, but joined in 2019. I think we closed our first deal in March of 2020. So not too
Awesome.
far after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then it was just kind of obviously,
The
we
world
got
was
stuck.
collapsing. Why are you buying real estate?
It was crazy. I mean, we were definitely nervous in the beginning. I think it was like literally we closed like 2 days before they shut everything down. So we were nervous. I mean, it was our first deal,
How'd you
obviously.
feel the night before closing that deal?
Um, it was definitely a strong mix of excitement and like, oh my God, what am I doing? I guess.
Let's be
Uh,
honest. You felt like vomiting. Let's be honest, because it
yeah, a
took me
little
about
bit.
7 or 8 deals before that feeling of wanting to vomit went away, and especially during COVID. So fortune favors the bold. That's what ended up happening here. You took a big risk. First, you took a big risk on investing in education. Then you took a big risk in investing with a partner. Then you took a big risk in buying your first deal when COVID's going on, and then the second deal and the third deal. So helping with the community is part of it, but you really had a plan, and you really were decisive about taking action with the plan. It was always the vision. Even in high school, what I heard you say is I wanted to do something on my own. And that's why I love multifamily, because you're a multifamily entrepreneur right now. You're building a business through multifamily. And that's what I think Nick is doing, previously when he talks about even with the laundry, that's one form of revenue. That's an entrepreneurial venture right there. And that 120 units, you've got certain revenue generators there, whether they're application fees, whether they're leasing fees, whether they're, the laundry fees, whatever that is. He's becoming an entrepreneur by that one business right there. And I think you're doing the same thing here, where you're just buying assets now. But now as you're starting to scale, the community can help you another way with the manage right component of it. That's why you're not going to fail here, because you're actually running a business. It's like having a business in a box where you're focusing on the buy right and the finance right, those two back legs, you've taken care of it. Now it's just a continual operation with the manage right portion.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, so I mean, there's, long story short, we definitely were very well aligned in our goals and stuff. And then we did the first deal, and that was kind of it. We're like, okay, this works out perfectly. We get along well and work really well together.
That's
Um,
awesome.
but yeah, so here's a few reasons why I joined. I mean, this is, like I said, I was starting from ground zero. So, really no real estate knowledge whatsoever. I mean, I didn't even know I had no idea what made a deal good or bad. Didn't know anything about the numbers, really had no prior real estate experience. I hadn't even bought a house yet. So yeah, definitely starting from ground zero. The community was big, like besides my partner Tall, it was like we didn't, or I should say I didn't really have many connections in the space. So I figured, why not jump into a pretty large and like-minded community like Jake and Gino.
Mm-hmm.
The coach was huge. With my knowledge gaps, it was like my confidence, I guess, just wasn't super high. Jumping into deals and like kind of putting your own capital on the line, it's nerve-wracking,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, with the coach, my coach was Mike Taravella, who's a great dude. He gave me a lot of confidence, I think, kind of getting that first deal done.
Mikey T, show the
Yeah.
love.
Yeah, he's great.
Love you some Mikey.
And the last thing, just overall, just missing puzzle pieces. It's like, definitely a team sport, like you guys were talking about before. And the team like extends beyond just like your like operating group, right? It's like attorney, title guys, lenders, everything. So it's missing a lot of those puzzle pieces. And obviously there's a ton of connections in Jake and Gino. So that was a big piece of it as well.
Awesome. Let it rip.
There you go. So the deal I'm going to go over, I think there was actually another slide in here before, but it's called Sunset Townhomes. It's a 48 unit, kind of like townhome style apartment complex. Um, it's in Elyria, Ohio, which probably, a lot of people aren't very familiar with, but about 30 minutes west of Cleveland. I think population's around 50,000 people. So, smaller city, but it's only a 30-minute commute to Cleveland. It's in the same MSA as well. And yeah, strong medium family income, which is something that, it's one of the first things you kind of learn when you jump into the Jake and Gino community, is kind of looking at those just basic metrics, and family income is a big one. So pretty strong income at around 80,000 a year. I would consider it C class, maybe C plus. Some areas are closer to B, but this, I would consider this one more of a C. Employment base was pretty decent. There's a few manufacturing companies around there. Hospital, that's pretty big. But I think the biggest thing with this one was not necessarily the economic base in this specific smaller town. It was more just the commute to Cleveland was pretty, brief. Mm-hmm. And we knew that a lot of people commuted from here to Cleveland. So, and then also just the build, 70s build, like I said, townhome style. The prior owner had actually done a few of the roofs just like in the past couple of years. The rest of them were in great shape, like less than 10 years old. Properties are on a slab, so that was nice, no basements to worry about. And then, they had taken care of a number of the hot water tanks, furnaces, a lot of mechanicals. So property's in pretty decent shape overall, but
kitchen looks great, man.
Yeah, so this is actually post renovation. So I have some pictures after this of the pre.
Original cabinets, and then you just did countertops and sink with a gooseneck, or did you do the whole kit and caboodle?
So we did. Let me go to this next one here.
So Jake's, as you go to the next one, Jake's going to tell you he likes the median income and he likes the townhomes. That unit mix of townhomes is just a great apartment feel. It feels like an apartment home more than anything else. So I love that. And the ability, like you said, it's really a sub-market. So you're getting maybe a little bit of a discount, but yet it's a pretty easy commute to the Cleveland market. So that's another great.
I love pickup. Townhomes.
Oh, you love townhomes.
Yeah, us too, especially now.
Love that. So let's talk about the upside. Let's talk about the highlights.
Yeah, for sure. So biggest thing was extreme mismanagement. It doesn't really get more mismanaged, honestly. We always talk about this funny story. They had one guy managing the whole property. His name was Kevin. He was a really interesting guy. We call him Crazy Uncle Kevin. Or that we got to be, calling him that because he told us one day that his nieces and nephews called him that. So we just kind of went with it. And Crazy Uncle Kevin was a really interesting guy. He took no security deposits. He let anyone in. He had a stack of applications on his desk. They were like this thick. And he would just unit comes due and just picks one out.
Stop for a second. The next time you hear that there's a Crazy Uncle Kev on board for the manager and the price is right, you just kind of buy it, right? You're just like, here's cash, let's roll, because you know the upside after having a Crazy Uncle Kev. Please tell us more about Crazy Uncle Kev, but I just want people to realize the opportunity with that.
Yeah, he was, really nice guy. His management,
he may have been in the wrong role.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. I remember we were walking through on the day of I think it was the day of our inspection, and he actually got in a really bad verbal fight with one of the tenants, and me and Tall were in a unit, hiding behind a door. We're like, do we fight? Do we defend Kevin, or what do we do in this situation?
No, you probably fire him, but that's okay. Carry on.
No, Jake would have said, okay, $100,000 off the price just for that thing. And you start retrading on that bad boy. So, that's amazing. Because listen, the extremist manager.
Wait. Was he working for you at this point?
No, he's doing the work.
Okay, I got you. You thought, he might have been ready to fight somebody. I got you, and you were still looking at it. Okay.
Yeah, we were if we help him, do we for sure get the deal, and then we're good? Or
it's a great outlook on life, my friend.
Yeah, so it was interesting. There's a lot of interesting things he did, but yeah, so it was apparent, that there was a good opportunity there.
Can I hit a couple of these real quick? Because you have opportunity to build back water sewer. RUBS is still a play in this day and age. It still happens. It's just amazing that you you look at these properties and the mom and pops, there's a lot of mom and pop sellers. You have the last one, they're looking to exit. It's the only property that they own. Did you get any information on the seller? Did you understand a lot of this before you were negotiating and all? And I'm sorry, one other question. How did you find the deal? Was this off market or was this an on market deal?
Yes, this was off market. I do a good amount of cold calling to try and do some off
Yes.
market stuff. So I mean, this really like almost never happens. So I don't want anyone to think this is normal, but I literally called this guy on a Sunday and then he called me back Monday and said, "Hey, I was actually about to send my financials to Marcus and Millichap, but I'll just send them to you instead. And you guys can take a crack
Was
at
it Uncle Kev?
No,
Okay.
not Uncle Kev, no.
Yeah, but
Wonderful.
okay. So fortune favors the bold again. Who's calling on Sundays? Who's doing the work? You did the work and almost never happens. But this one deal with 48 units can set you free for life.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a definitely, like amazing luck, but also the opportunity, of course, just
Dude,
from
you made the
an
call
hour
though.
in.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
made the call. You picked
Mhm.
up the phone and you made the call, though. That's the difference. If you didn't make the call, you never know crazy Uncle Kev. You never have I'm sure the post stories that happen between, now and then. And you have a beautiful asset because of it.
And what's
So,
great about it is you also learn that now townhomes are probably part of your buy right criteria. You're looking at median income even stronger. You're looking at renovation through, not the operation, not just through renovation now. So these are a lot of things that you've learned through the process, taking that really big action step is all of a sudden you're learning through this stuff. So in 48 units, I think everyone on this call, we can all say to ourselves, we can do 48 units. Let's find a couple of partners. Let's raise maybe $500,000 or $600,000. This is not out of the realm of possibility for anybody on this call. It really isn't. You just need to get educated. You need to learn the 3-step framework and then management. It comes down to running this like a business. Michael's an entrepreneur right now of multifamily, and that's where the true value is. This. If you're buying this thing right and you're financing this thing right, it always comes back to this. This is the recurring theme for this evening: just being able to manage.
well, and he solves problems. He doesn't run away when Cuckoo Kev is about to start a fight. He says, "I'm going to go further because I see the opportunity." This could scare some people off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, you guys were hiding behind the door. Come on, step up, dude.
Well, the guy had a Rottweiler too, so we're like, I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
So the upside. What's on the next slide? What do we got next?
There we go. So,
wow.
So yeah, these are some before pictures. So there was 4 down units. That was immediate upside because the owners just like totally left them, and you could see, those top 3 pictures. Those are all some of the down units. It was pretty bad. So that was the immediate upside, right? It's like we obviously bring those back to life, lease those 4 up. But the rents were extremely under market. I mean, like $200 plus across the board. So a ton of room on the rents there. The water sewer, quick point about that. When we did our inspection, there was actually water meters in every single unit.
Oh,
yeah, but they weren't being used, and the water, yeah, and the utilities were like.
So he was getting all the water bills, 48 of them, sent to his house, and he was just paying them.
I think it was actually the previous, like the owner before the guy we bought it from. So they were just doing it. They weren't even in service. They were just like doing, I don't even know how the guy was doing it.
Never heard of that one.
But that's important, everybody, because if you can actually not even have the bill back, but you have meters installed and that's something, a line item. Utility and water and sewer can be a really massive bill. It can be $800 to $1,000 per unit on some of these deals. So if that's coming off the line item, that is massive. And you're able to do that. You would have either implemented rubs yourself, or if you have these meters, turn the meters on and let them work. So that is awesome, bro.
Yeah.
Great.
So, the meters were not functional, but the plumbing was there. So we went to another company that does the sub metering. We put in like the cellular meters. So now we're essentially, it's essentially like a bill back, but they get the bill directly. And then it goes through like a third party basically. But yeah, it's huge because I think I put in here that it was about $30,000 a year. It's actually a little bit more than that. That was kind of conservative. I think the water is 35 to 40 every year. So, the conservative estimate here is $30,000 in expenses, basically going straight to your bottom line income is about 428,000 at a 7 cap. So yeah, it was a huge value add doing that. So between that, the down units, the rents, the water, yeah, there was and mismanagement, of course, there was like a ton of room on this one.
I love the last thing, this financing. You can touch on this as far as was this a loan to cost deal where you're getting a lot of the renovations built into the deal itself?
Yeah. So what we did is a local bank here was, we're calling like a bridge debt type of thing, but it was a local bank. They gave us basically 20% down, so 80% of the purchase price, and then they finance 100% of the renovation cost just on draws. So that's how we're kind of working that right now. Is we brought a little bit of extra cash to the table up front as like the working capital, and then we go through renovate a unit, go and get a draw, and just kind of like rinse and repeat.
And then your ultimate long-term strategy is refinance into long-term agency debt and return capital to partners. So you're going to hold this bad boy then, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, this was like,
Yeah.
I mean, I think this thing's going to be an absolute grand slam. So for us, it makes a lot of sense to hold a long.
I think you love this deal.
I think I do too.
Well, I think once this thing's renovated and it's up and going, you're probably going to be netting about $13,000 to $15,000 a month in cash flow on this deal. Is that accurate?
I would say so for sure. I mean, we're actually exceeding our rent projections too that we pro forma'd, and that along with the water bill back is, I mean, it's huge. And then of course we bought it right too. I think it's on the next slide, but I mean, we really bought this thing right. So
yeah, I'd love to see the pricing on this. So
Tell
then
me.
you're gonna
Tell me.
So we bought it for
This is killing me.
a little over 2 million, about 42 a door.
Oh,
Dude. And they're twos?
2 and 3 bed units.
oh it gets
bastard.
even better.
So
Yeah.
all in costs, a little over 2.5.
Like Orlando, everybody.
The projection is not 13 a month; it's up to $15,000 a
Dude,
month in cash flow.
like my face is turning red right now. I'm so giddy over this one here.
So yeah, I mean, it's definitely, like I said, a lot of meat on it. And then with our rents too, I mean, for a 2-bed now, we're getting about $800, a little less than $800. I'm sorry. Yeah, a little less than 800, but plus water sewer. And then the 3-bed, we're getting 900 plus water sewer. So the rents are solid for where we bought it at.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like you're light, dude.
Yeah.
Well, at 80,000 median income, Michael, what I would say to this is this may be one of those deals where it may be like sexy to sell this deal and get a big chunk of change. If you could prolong that and think of your exit
Papa Gino
strategy
right now.
Yes, I'm trying to throw some words of wisdom here because I want you to create not only legacy wealth. I want you to really think with generational. This one deal, everybody out there, this one deal can set anybody free because you're talking between $13,000 and $15,000 a month in cash flow, but you also have cost segregation here. So cost seg, I mean, there's so many things to this, and this is a really nice asset. So return on effort was what we call the ROE. This deal is probably, once it's stabilized, it'll probably be a much easier asset to also manage because 2s and 3s in a nicer building like this in an area with nice median income.
Yeah.
That's this is like the nirvana of deals right now that I'm looking at here, because this is what we're all looking for. That's what our criteria is. Everyone leaving this call right now, before we leave, think about what your buy right criteria is. For us, we're looking for townhomes, 2s. If you can find 3s, great. Pitched roofs would be great. Median income, at least in the 60s and above. We love brick. We love assets that are in the 80s and newer. This is what we're looking at, our part of the market
if
cycle.
Uncle Clem was an idiot, you'd still have the sub-metering in place, So
So I want everyone to think about that. I mean, both of these deals, they're very similar in what we're looking at, but both of the students, Nick and Michael, they had their buy right criteria. They knew what they were looking for. And planning and I guess taking massive action in times of uncertainty and sticking with their business plan and then executing their business plan, I think is what is really leading to these amazing results. I mean, 20 plus cash on cash. This is great. So what I ultimately said to Michael is if you can figure out how to refi, give your partners that capital back and hold this thing going long-term, this is one of those legacy assets that you can hold for the next 10 to 15 years. And you'll be happy that you held this. This is something you'll feel comfortable holding. Does that make sense, Jake? Do you like that?
My question is, when are you sending it out to pasture? When is this going to agency here?
So, I mean, we're actually moving a lot quicker than we thought we would on this. So, the initial plan was about 2 years to renovate the whole thing. We had, thanks to crazy Uncle Kevin, we had 13 evictions at one time, which is a lot, but, we bought it right. So we were fine. And we actually had some extra cash in the bank too, which was good. But
take the Band-Aid off, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so that's pretty much all done. Actually, we have, I think, one or two people left to get out, but yeah, it's been, it's been a lot quicker than we had initially anticipated. So I think we almost are halfway through the building, renovating it. So I mean, we're probably looking like, about a year and a half from when we bought it in June, like around that time is like when we realistically could. We'll see like what's going on with the market right now and the next few months. But the
Awesome.
debt that we got, what was that?
That's awesome.
That's fun. This is a fun deal. I just like it.
Yeah, I mean the debt we got too. It's like we kind of knew that we were getting close to the top of the market here, so we got the 2 years interest only up front, and then it actually rolls just straight into perm debt for a 5-year term. So we have some, if we have to.
And we got like a 3-2-1 step down with those guys or what?
Yeah, it's actually a 5-4-3-2-1. But yeah, I mean, we knew that we could absorb it.
Replace something with them. Tell them you're going to replace something, and get another like quasi bridge with them, but then negotiate that one for like a 3-2 or a 3-2-1 and tell them to waive the prepay on the current one.
That's great advice. I like
and
that.
then and that way you get out of it, send this one out. And that should be a realistic strategy. And then say, hey, we're going to keep stacking deposit accounts with you as these come through. But we want to replace this one with you guys right now. And we're going to set you up with a new one and keep the deposit accounts with you.
Michael, do you have any contact information for all the
yeah, I do.
I just want to talk about the townhomes more.
Oh yeah. Okay.
No, awesome. Let's hit this real quick. Acquire another 500 units.
Fine,
all right. Awesome, bro. Close 100 unit in 2022. Continue to focus on long-term partnerships.
Let him do it. Come on, it's his show still.
I just want to read it for him because I'm so excited about the deal. I mean, I honestly didn't know the deal was this damn good. I'm like, man, where can I get me some 48 unit townhomes? Attend 3 in-person networking events. Yes, you saw the first one. You're coming to MM5 as well. So that's 2. So you've got one more that you need to choose. So, and then I would love to host 3 local real estate investing business owner networking events. You need to do that. That's something where
you're coming out to manage, right? You coming out to manage, right?
Yeah, if I can get there. I'm actually on the West Coast right now. Help my girlfriend move.
Tell Tal to come out. Either one of you guys got to come out because that's going to be a 2-day, taking the bus tours, be in the classroom for 1 day will really sharpen up the manager, right? You'll really get a lot of really great pointers from that one.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely one of our goals to get out as many as we can. So definitely we'll try and be there. And then I guess the last one is buy more townhomes. That's the other goal.
And no crazy Uncle Kevin's. That's the last one.
Oh, you want crazy Uncle Kevin. Sorry,
the opportunity. You want him, bro.
So yeah, here's my contact info. Feel free to, text, call, email, whatever you guys prefer. And Facebook, I'm on Facebook, and LinkedIn, of course, as well.